Okay, we're here with Rusty Ship of Rusty Ship Band.
Rusty Ship.
You're on the Rusty Ship Band channel, P.S.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes. And we're here today. What are we doing here today? Suit, tie,
Yeah.
computer, coffee mug?
Well, we're changing things up a little bit, but not completely, because this is actually kind of the typical day in the life of the Rusty Ship Band. It isn't just all fun and art and rocking out all the time. There's actually a huge component of marketing and business involved in being in a band. So that's actually what I'm doing here today. This is my office, and today I wanted to see if I could get even more focused and professional and serious about this whole music thing by dressing the part of a businessman. And so far I think it's working. So that's what I'm doing here. Very organized, got my paper, my pen, my computer, my coffee mug, and I'm ready to get serious and strategize about what is the best way to go about taking this awesome album that we made, this piece of art, and getting it to as many people as possible. That's my goal. I'm trying to treat it from a business perspective of what is the best way to influence people and reach people and connect to people. So that's what I'm doing today specifically, honing in on strategy. So there you go.
Super, super awesome. Mr. Ship. Is that what we should call you? Captain Mr. Ship.
Captain Ship. Captain
Ship.
of the ship.
With the
perhaps.
tie and everything.
Yes, at least today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you're more efficient because of it.
Yeah, and people don't really realize how much work goes into being in a band and how much goes on behind the scenes, like I said, beyond just actually making songs and playing concerts. The majority of it is actually doing marketing and stuff. So literally, this is the majority of what I do with my time. So some days I will literally roll out of bed and get on the computer, start going down a checklist of people I need to contact, places I need to research, etc., trying to figure out as many ways to get this album out to people as I can on the internet and other means. So it's busy. Lots of work all the time, but I think that's what it takes. And I kind of treat this band kind of like a manager of a restaurant or something would treat his business. Like, this is your life. This is what I want to do with my life, so everything is revolving around this. Which sounds kind of stressful and boring and like drudgery, but it's actually not. It's actually something very exciting because the end result that we're after is individuals that we're trying to connect with that will listen to this music and hopefully really enjoy it. That's what we're trying to do. We want to get this music to reach people, for people to really enjoy it.
That's great.
Yeah.
The album Mortal Ghost has been out for an entire month now.
Yeah, it's been a month.
So you have one song cover on the album that's been done, written and performed by the Beatles, yeah?
Yes, it's true. We have a cover by the Beatles on our album, and it's Helter Skelter.
So why did you pick Helter Skelter of all the awesome Beatles songs?
Well, because I think that Rusty Ship's style of music, this whole grunge punk thing, is really aggressive, and the Beatles typically don't have music anywhere close to being that aggressive, but the Beatles are probably the biggest inspiration for my songwriting. So of the Beatles catalog, I think Helter Skelter is probably the closest song that comes close to the Rusty Ship sound. So that's one that can be translated into the Rusty Ship sound. And when I heard Helter Skelter for the first time, it just seemed like there was so much energy bubbling up to the surface, but still like some of the energy did not spill over. it did not materialize. A lot of it was potential energy, and it was never turned kinetic. Is that a correct phrase?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I thought, man, I feel like the Beatles were onto something, but they didn't quite tap into all that potential energy that was there. So what I set out to do, if it's not so egotistical to say, I was trying to take Helter Skelter to the next level where the Beatles kind of envisioned. But it was back in 1968, before bands were really doing this like loud, raucous grunge music. So I'll cut them some slack, but I wanted to take it where I think they were envisioning it to go, which is the version that's on our album, which is just kind of more all-out, rocking, heavy, raw, grunge rock, punk rock, very aggressive, gets fast, it is hard hitting, probably the heaviest song on our album, possibly. People have told me that. Helter Skelter.
Yeah. I mean, that's really awesome. And I guess, I mean, Helter Skelter's been done before, but it sounds like this is just going to be something totally different. Right?
Yeah. It's pretty different than the original. Yeah, and that's one thing I'll say is, in researching this song, I was really trying to make the best cover of Helter Skelter that had ever been done. That's what my goal was. And so in doing that, I listened to a ton of other people's covers of Helter Skelter. Basically, every cover I could find on the internet, I listened to it. And probably at least 90% of the covers was basically just straight from the Beatles song. It's just like, oh, it's the Beatles song, Helter Skelter, but it's Aerosmith playing it, or Motley Crue playing it. Motley Crue was pretty good. They did kind of their own spin on it. And same with Oasis. They kind of put a nice spin on it that was kind of their own thing. But still, I felt like all of them were still just kind of like, yeah, it's a cover. Like, yeah, you got a cool different guitar solo, but it's still pretty much the same song. So I wanted to really do something that was true to the original, but also stands on its own as an original song that's captivating in and of itself.
Right.
Does that answer the question?
That definitely answers the question.
Okay.
And that's a song that's on this album, so it can be found on iTunes, Spotify, or even on this YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's cool. And a lot of people have told me that they like our version of Helter Skelter a lot better than the Beatles one. So that's a huge, huge compliment, obviously, if we have a song that's better than a Beatles song. That's huge. Now, given their song came out in 1968, so what would they have done if they were in 2017? Who knows? But all that to say, that's something, I'll take it. I'll hang that on the wall. We have a song that's better than the Beatles. That's cool. I'll take that. And that makes me happy inside.
That's great. Well, I think that about wraps it up for us then.
All right.
Thank you so much, and we'll see everybody next week.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.